wanted to finish the tests. The tests about yesterday's feature, which let me go. Feature, I'm sorry, bug which we fixed yesterday. So I wanted to finish the test for this bug. First of all, let's see what is full. Remove. Sample is of this size. I'm sorry, of 22 meg. Let's see what's inside. Oh yeah, I remember this. Thank you. So I think we should how we can cast it, just to search grep test static plugin. So I'm going to slightly modify this test. So first of all, initial test should be as they was, so previously, so they should not be touched at all. Okay, so test static plugin, test static big file. Let me call it like this. 2023.1.5, and where is this file? I don't need PHP here at all. Yeah, and static big file YAML. Okay, like this. So I'm going to use access logs. I'm going to add headers here, like some static file. I mean, this big static file, debug pool, and yeah, and that's it. And I'm going to undo the changes done in this file, because it should be like it was. Yeah, like this. All mapping items start with the same column. Linter, go home, you drunk. Now it's better, yeah? Okay. Yeah, and this is kind of interesting artifacts. They come from this Windows terminal, and I think it's like just some drawing artifacts, and I saw them only surprisingly I saw these artifacts which was on the screen previously only on Windows, so nothing similar happened with me with on Linux. So okay. Static big file, and yeah, here I'm going to add headers and zip and static, yeah. And first of all, let's give it time to start. Let's remove these two from this configuration, and let's undo this like this. Yeah, and let's also rename sample big, and let's create a previous, like, restore our previous sample file with super simple text inside sample. Okay. Yeah, and this is about tests. I also need to remove HTTP and static from this replace, because we don't need to replace these files, these projects, I'm sorry, these repositories with local ones, because I recently committed the changes to the HTTP with new clone of the request, so should be fine. Oh, big response, yeah. Removed PHP test files, big response. Oh, yeah. It should be removed. Yeah, it should be removed, for sure. Okay. Looks good. Okay. Yeah, and as for the... let me regenerate the content of this file. With dev0 sample big. I just don't want to put this a lot of this stuff. I wanted to just put this sample and a lot of like zeros at the end of this file. Okay, so we would be able to use... so while I'm doing this, I would be able to use the previous serve static methods, but now this should be an error if we... so yeah, first of all, let's try to comment this line, and let's try to... let's try to run this test. HTTP go test static plugin first of all. Oh, go Matadi. Oh, expected sample. Okay. Okay, let me just static. So it's expected. Expected, yeah. Actual sample. Hold on. It's expected. Oh yeah, so serve static. We also should replace this one to point to the new file. We also can. I don't want to repeat this. Let me do. This is like the following. So first of all, file name string and return. Let's create just a callback. Testing T and return function and put all of this kind of stuff inside, and then let's use we can just use string concatenation, but yeah, without fmt plus file name, like this. Why not? And then in the places when we are using this serve static sample, for example here, we just need to sample big txt, so we can specify it like this. And here in the previous test we just use sample txt like this. So pretty goddamn easy. Oh, sorry. Close the file. What was the key binding? I forgot. Bidding for searching in the buffer for the last opened file. Scope, search file, search by grep, find recently open, leader question mark. What? Linux? Are you drunk? Yeah. Works flawlessly. Sample big, go mode, yeah, cool. I should remember this. Linux, what are you doing? Why are you just randomly opening the files? I think this is some key binding also as well in Linux. Let's see. So now it's like question mark, some kind of key binding inside Linux. I should remove all of them, by the way. So okay, so this is recently opened. Oh, this is recently opened files for the. Yeah, cool. I forget about this function inside my NeoVim configuration. Okay, so this is for the big file. Now we have access logs, headers, send files static, response header, output header, worker true. So number of workers will be ignored actually in this mode, but yeah, let's just leave it equal to 1. Configuration and HTTP. Okay. Let's see now. Yeah, now it's good. And now big yeah. As you may see here, I see this error, unexpected end of file. So definitely we can reproduce it with the test. So first of all, always my practice for the years is reproduce the bug via the test. So if you're able to reproduce the bug via test, you'll be able to fix it and then run the same test, and the bug should be fixed. So this is kind of simple logic, but a lot of devs kind of ignore this practice. It's like I always hear things like this. Oh, I know where this error. I'll fix it in a second. Like, okay, fix is done. Push to production, and then error raised again. It's like, oh yeah, it was another place, and like you have 10 patches in an hour instead of just did one test and go more tidy. Oh yeah, now we see the result of this test. It's a little bit different, but let me check. Not equal. Oh yeah, we should change it back to contains. Static big file plugin and ser static sample. So contains would be enough for this, since we are testing here that we have some predefined part of this file. We're just testing that this file is the file we wanted to test. So it contains some mark. Sample is our mark, and we also have to replace the port number, because inside GitHub Actions, when you deallocate the port, it's not deallocated at the in the next nanosecond, because Linux just sent a signal. So we have a fin on this port, so it's postponed for the deallocation. And when you allocate the same port, it might be collision between these ports, so you might have an error. And inside GitHub Actions, since they are kind of slow, so they have, I think, 2 gigs of memory and 2 CPUs, and this is in the Docker, so it's like mounted file system, so they are kind of slow. They slow like 5 times, approximately, comparing to my machine. So 5 to 10 times, because I tested how much time cost running whole bunch of the tests on my machine and GitHub Actions. So we also have to replace the port. And 21603, and here is better, I think, to use fmt as printf. So just we'll have some kind of pretty format here, like this. Port and file name. Okay, and yeah, we need to change it again. So for the big file, let me use 21604, and for our previous iteration, 21603. like it was previously. Oh yeah, and now we needed to change everything. Every single test. Okay, let's do this. So since they are running, yeah, and the second thing I need to change is to change where is port here in the configuration, like this. Okay, here should be 2603. Yeah. Static forbid. And port. Okay, and static headers. Here we're passing a port. And port should be here. Like this. All other things are fine. 21603. Okay. And should be changed here as well. 604. Okay, should be fine now. Yeah, cool. And test static plugin. Fine, and go test everything. Should be also fine. Let's wait a little. Oh, yeah. Hold on. Hold on. I need to generate certificates. Test certificates. Client. Okay, and just make cert. Yeah, and copy. Yeah, everything now should be fine. And plugins, go test run. So you have to regenerate. So these are test certificates. I'm generating them using the utility called make cert. This is a super cool utility which is under the hood uses OpenSSL, and it installs test certificates under the make cert folder on your system, so you can easily use them as well with CA root. So for the local host development, and as you may see, I'm using this tool to test, for example, mutual TLS locally. So before I get to the so I can test, for example, handshake errors. So test MTLS5 is because root certificate was disabled, and you can't, if your root certificate was disabled, you can't basically use mutual TLS with verify certificate target, let's say. So because it's like mutual TLS is the thing when you verify server certificate and server certificate verify your certificate, so it's like zero trust security code also. So very cool technique. And inside Roadrunner, I support almost in every plugin which communicate with the outside world. I support mutual TLS for sure, like temporal, HTTPS, gRPC, HTTP2. Oh no, HTTP2 basically. By the way, we are using HTTP2. H2C protocol, which is protocol HTTP2 over the clear text code. So it is used basically for some insecure communication, but if you wanted to use HTTP2. So HTTP2 by default is should be used. It's mandatory to use certificates to use HTTP2. But yeah, so if you not have certificate and you want to some kind of test your just communication, or you are inside a trusted network, so you can use HTTP2 over the clear text protocol. So it's like insecure transport. Okay, so everything seems fine, and now where's my browser? Roadrunner send. Okay. Oh yeah, yesterday I also pushed a small but significant, feature from one of our users contributed a feature request to where is it? Yeah, to have tags without minor version. So I wanted to do this many times, but this is kind of low priority task to have when you push a Docker obraz, Docker image. You wanted to, for example, to have tags like 2023.1.3. Yeah, and you also wanted to see 2023.1, so only up to minor version. So, and a lot of let's say a lot of distros also provide a 2023 as well. So I also wanted to add 2023 tag, like to have for the user who wanted to update their distros, the Docker images. I'm sorry, to the without like looking at the bug fix version. Yeah, okay, so I have to answer since I'm on work. Yeah, and this feature small but significant, you know. Okay, and where is this send repository? Yeah, should. So yeah, just check what I did. So I check stable, correct, 153, license, remove the guard, and use correct way to append the data. Okay, seems legit. Okay, fine. Let's review. Let's put this cool guy. Let's put like this cool guy, like review. I mean, in review, like self-review. So, by the way, can I do? Oh no, I can't. So GitHub restricts doing self-reviews, self-approves. Let's say. Okay, bam. This is kind of small plugin. I'm sorry. This is not a plugin. This is small middleware, but still, it's so. I think it. If I remember correctly, this is the second big bug from this little middleware. First bug was when I sent this in this logic to send the data. I forget to check this end of file error. Yeah, and the second one is about the writer. Also funny thing. Why I don't need this writer, by the way? If we have a path is equal to okay, set header. I think let me think for a second. So I think we don't need to even use this writer if we don't have this header. So why we use... Okay, let me review this one more time. So why do I need this custom writer here? So if there is no extend file, we check. Oh yeah, so now I understand. So if we have a header, so basically how this thing work? So we have. Oh my god, police. So if we have a worker here, so and worker sends to us x send file header with the path to a file. Oh yeah, so I'm thinking about why still I need this custom writer. And we have a big file here, for example, like 10 gigabytes. and pass points to this file. And if we need to stream this file and not involve the worker in this process, because streaming a file, first of all, it's not possible to have an output stream at the moment for the worker. This is a first thing. And the second, if you're going to stream from the worker, you'll allocate this 10 gigs of the memory. Yeah, because you should save the whole file in PHP, then send the response with this whole file, and yeah, and then like by chunks send it to recipient or to the user some. With the raw journal, you can use like chunks with a 10 megs or more or less, like whatever you want, and like point this file, and Rodano will use only the 10 megabytes memory to stream this file to the user, to the happy user. And here is the logic that we need custom writer inside the Golang, custom response writer, to have all of the information saved, which was passed on all stages when we pass into the request and response. So we have this information, then we extract the header xn file path and stream in this response writer. We are saving the data in our buffer and streaming the data back to the user. But during this so now yeah, I think I'm wrong here in implementation. Yeah, I'm definitely wrong. Okay, let's check. So I'm thinking that I'm wrong in the following thing. If I use this logic here, I'll have the whole 10 gigs array or 10 gigs a file inside this data. I'll not stream it back to the user, yeah, because I'll have it inside this buffer. This is basically fine for the files like you know, like up to 1 megabyte. This is even, you will not see this on memory footprint. But for the big files, I'm reading and then oh. No. I'm right. So yeah. This is only valid. So as I see here, I'm writing to the original writer, not to our overriding writer. So this is fine. This is fine. So this Dabi is original writer, and we are passing all of the headers from this one. So yeah, if user sent us a response with the 10 gigabytes, so we already allocated 10 gigabytes of memory, so it doesn't matter. But if user points us to a file, so we can open this file for the read only for sure, and then calculate a buffer for it, read with offsets, and then write 422. if buffer, so we just allocating the buffer up to, so we are writing to a buffer, yeah, with particular offset, and then we are reading up to n bytes, which we read on the previous stage, and then we wrote to the writer, yeah, to the original writer, and then flush this data to the user without buffering on. So flush here is used to like forcibly send the data to the user without storing it or caching it on the Golang side here. Okay, so yeah, fine. Whew. Okay, so CI, why so long? GitHub is fine. It's like 9 minutes. GitHub, are you drunk? GitHub is drunk. Okay, so and then okay, since I already tested this, let me check Golang CI linter just to double check that everything's fine. Check all the dependencies, and we are good. Yeah, we're fine. Boom. So I'm going to release this because so GitHub is drunk at the moment, so it's like it can just run my linters. So and status is okay, you know, guys. Status is fine, everything's fine. You're just running like a small virtual machine for the 10 minutes, like waiting to run to pick up this job. Okay, GitHub, got you. And let's release a bug fix release. 12 generate. Oh, this is super cool feature from the GitHub, which was released I think half an hour ago, about generating release notes. It saves a lot of time writing, you know, this what was fixed, who made this fix, like change log, etc. So I had previously like some predefined template to put it into this section, just to and then copy and pasting everything, like to for the users to be notified what was changed in this repository, for example. Okay, publish release, and now we are good to go. So fixed, and projects roadrunner forget to add, and milestone, and unreleased. Need verification, verified. Cool. Everything is ready. I remember, you guys, so today we are going to have presentation from Anton about the Roadrunner, so it would be like presentation from the conference about the Roadrunner, how we get to this decision to write Roadrunner, or how what our future plans about this, and all these things. Okay. Okay, fine. And yeah, and go mod, and here we remove this replace, and where is this send? And let's update other dependencies as well. Since I saw the dependencies here on my inbox. So this is temporal API update. Let me check what's updated. Add merge sets operation for update builds API. Not found. What? Oh, they removed issues, and this is good. This is good technique. So I kind of bothered with, if you have like in the Roadrunner, I have in the Roadrunner organization, I have more than 60 repos. I think where's the number? Yeah, 70 repos. So, and this is if some guy faced with an issue with, let's say, send middleware, it goes to this middleware and push an issue in this, and this is hell to maintain this number of repositories. Each of it has issue tracker. So, and because of this, none of these repositories have, except of the Roadrunner itself, have the issue tracker. So all the issues in one place. This is kinda, yeah, and I understand this decision for the temporal. By the way, as you may see here, temporal, and here's your humble servant, Roadrunner temporal. This is my plugin for the temporal. Okay, let's move forward. I don't need this. Yeah, I need to merge this pull request. And I think it's time to release, I don't know, do I need to release SDK? If I need to release SDK, let me double check. If I need to release Go SDK, then I'll postpone the 2 days. I'll postpone the update versions for the repositories. Let me check. This is only testify, procs file system, num CPUs, kind of minor changes. So SDK, if I update SDK, for example, it would require to update the like numerous repositories from these 70 repositories. So I mean, like maybe half of them use SDK directly for the like events, system, bus, internal event bus, pool of workers, priority queue, algorithms, etc., system D, and a lot of things. So and also temporal plugin as well uses this SDK. So I'm going to, I don't know. So they are so minor. So only testify. Okay, so let's. I don't want to update every single repo from this 70. So let me just postpone this for the more significant changes, and because of this I'm going to temporal, relevant temporal. I'm going to release a new version of the relevant temporal. Oh, there are a lot of changes. Yeah, so it was releasing this this small plugin. Okay, and let's go temporal. One more time. Oh, I forgot to let me add the font to the stream. I forgot to use my famous stream avatars. Boom. Okay. Why so long? GitHub, are you drunk? Are you drunk? Are you even more drunk than previously? This is a pre-commit thing, which is running after every commit. So I will not forget to run Galaxy linter to like track some some issues in the linter when I forgot to put a break or space, add new test for the static big file SBF. Configs client root, yeah. Git push. Okay, and we are done with this thing. I just need to, yeah. They failed this pull request, which automatically done by the Defender bot, because SQS, for example, I use inside the tests. I use a real SQS instance. It's like super cheap, like few cents per year, but I'm able to perform a real testing without this. These things which trying to replace SQS for the local development, like for example, Elastic Queue tries to replace this, and come on, stop, please, stop. I know. And if you have several tests running simultaneously, so they more likely fail because they are using the single instance and get like incorrect statistic of, for example, here might be incorrect statistic. Oh yeah, here just they can't create a queue because, for example, previous test tries to delete this queue. So, and Cirrus plugins just have some kind of concurrency testing and creates a huge number of coroutines under the hood. And as we see here, like a huge number, like 1000. And it may fail because of GitHub Actions. They use a, pretty low tier machines. Should have 2 tiers items, but have one. But has one. Okay. And this is why I wanted to move from GitHub Actions to own runner, because I have a server which is like pretty good. I mean, in terms of hardware installed on it, like 32 gigs of RAM, some kind of Threadripper inside it. I think 16 cores. It's like a hardware server, and I wanted to move GitHub Actions to the runner, which can be run on this server, but I faced with the problem that this is not possible to run the several number of tests. Like it runs one test per, like. So if you started all of these kind of tests, it will be like execute them synchronously. It was like a year ago, and I didn't try it. I didn't try this recently, but I don't think something changed in this place. Okay, let's. I won't. I will not wait for the drunk GitHub at the moment, and let's return back to the funny stuff, semaphores. Okay, so I remember we are working on semaphores and IPC bridge between Rust and Go. So to have our plugins running on not only our plugins, not only with Go, but so to be able to create basically to use any programming language to create a plugin. I mean, a programming language which have an access to the which can have access to a shared memory. But I'm not get around these things in Rust at the moment, but now we are going to resolve this. Okay, so let me check if we have dev sheet memory. Nothing. Failed. Huh. Yeah, we see foo is our shared memory region. It's called foo, as you know, many things programmers name. This is and by some reason I see this error when I use libsystem failed. Why bar string here is yeah, because we are passing 0 here. Yeah, we should not pass a 0, we should pass oCreate, because oCreate used to, if there's no semaphore at the moment, so please create it. And we failed still at the foo. And we failed because we added this read write 100%. Yeah, now it's fine. Yeah, Sam Fubar. So, okay. By the way, file mapped. Hey, it's Supermatrix. Yeah, Rust is, you know, it's kind of low-level programming language, so you can use any FFI to other programming languages which can use FFI. You can, it's harder to create an FFI to languages with a big runtime, like Go, Java, even PHP have better support for the FFI than Go, for example, because Go have a big runtime and it uses internal ABI and to call. So if you noticed, where is this? There is a repository called should be not FFI compiler, but it's somewhere on a GitHub. Norwegian Defense Research Establishment FFI Forskningsinstitut. Yeah, FFI. So this is for the Ruby FFI, but basically FFI have rules. Oh, I think that's it. Oh no, this is Ruby FFI. So FFI, this is a general concept of calling one function from one programming language to like another function from another programming language. If you have, for example, a thing written in Rust here, Rust can expose symbols and expose this function. For example, function, let me call it foo. So other programming languages like C, C++, or PHP, if attach this shared object file or dynamic library, or even Go can call can call function from other programming languages, but it's like kind of tricky, but it's possible to do. So you can just call a function from like C from Rust, or vice versa, like function from Rust to C. And you should know only one thing about this. So first of all, you should not mangle the function. Name mangling is if you have like function foo in one place and you have, let's say, 10 functions called foo. How you distinguish between all of them in terms of when you compile a binary. To achieve this, compilers uses technique called mangling, and it would be like foo, A, B, C, D, F, G, H, like this, with this small addition. And if you wanted to use specific functions from Rust to C and vice versa, so you should turn off in Rust. This is attribute called no mangle. This is simple, and I think this is the same for C as well, or C++. So what is FFI? So FFI basically states for to call a function. This is some kind of standard. So to call function, for example, from Rust to C, you should, for example, have in EX like first argument in like upper 32 bits of EX, because like it's like rugs. It's I think it's 64-bit register, like rugs. EX is lower 32 bits. I might be not correct, but you may check this in any tutorial. So first argument, for example, should be in this register, second in this one, other in R registers, and return argument should be in this register. So or in on a stack, for example. And this is basically a standard how you call function from one programming language to another. This is kind of super simplified, but just to generally overview how it works. Yeah, and you can do this basically from Rust to C, from C to Rust, from let's say even Go. Where's my even I wrote this small article about FFI. So first of all, you should have a shared object file. You should define a header file, for example, for Go to export. So if this is, as we see, this trash generated by C Go a lot of things to, because Go have internal API, they do not follow originally for the like calling convention, like cdecal, for example. Cdecal is a calling convention between programming languages to call one function from one programming languages to another. And to follow this convention, Go created this CGO layer, which is a mapping layer from yes, this is different. This is C. This is header file. But this is, as you might see, mapping from the Go runtime into the C runtime to pass arguments from Go to C. Because, you know, first of all, you can't pass easily arguments into the registers from Go. So you should use some kind of layer. And to achieve this, you may also use Go assembly for sure, but this is kind of tricky to do. So this requires a lot of efforts. Instead of just calling it like in Rust, C, and other programming languages. Even PHP have. Let me show you. Even PHP have the thing called where is it? Yeah, FFI. So you just need to point to the shared object file or dynamic library if you use Windows, define a function signature which you wanted to call, and that's it. So you can call basically from PHP any C function. Linker phase already done of this because shared object file is already linked. It can be dynamically linked or can be statically linked. So statically linked means you have every single dependency inside your library. Yeah, so you don't require any dependencies from the operating system, except of like super basic ones like check the user's permissions or network, for example, things like this. But even in these cases, examples of such approach is on Linux is Snap from Ubuntu. So Snap packages basically uses this approach to pack every single dependency into some kind of image and attach this image to your system. So without requiring any dynamic dependencies from your system. So then on the linking stage, when you are linking the SO library with the code you wanted to execute, then yes. Then on the time of execution, it's not on the linking stage, but when you execute your code, you'll see if there is this function called fib, for example, like here, you'll see the error because your like any library you use, like for example, is PHP in the example. So try to use this fib function and find a symbol for this function in this libphp cpp FFI, and it fails. And what this article was about? This article was about you may found it like here. I may post it if you wanted to read it. So it was like, I don't know, 3 years ago. So a lot of things, I don't think it's a lot of things currently might be not actual, but you can basically get the general concept. So in this article, I I wanted to describe the concept of using FFI in different programming languages. For example, the base was the idea was the following. So I have a PHP, yeah. So inside the road running, I have a PHP. So I don't know how it works. I don't know anything about PHP. So guys, I don't know anything about PHP. I'm not writing in PHP. Please don't blame me. I'm sorry. PHP is cool developers. I'm just joking. So I have a PHP, yeah, and I wanted to compare the like just simple task, a Fibonacci loop. So calculate the Fibonacci number up to 1 million. So this this function written like this by purpose, because as you may see here, you may read what is a loop unrolling function. So unwinding the cycle. I don't want for the compiler to unwind this function because it uses recursion. So this is kind of hard for the compilers to detect how you can unwind this Fibonacci function, because Fibonacci can be written in a iterative way, not in recursive way. Fibonacci might be calculated even with one formula. So in the math, Fibonacci approximately can be calculated in O1, a constant time and constant memory. So using one formula, you may read this on the wiki. Okay, so what was the experiment? So as far as I remember, running this function from inside PHP, just PHP itself, costs like something like 10 seconds. Then I wrote this function in Rust. Where is it? This is pretty much the same, with the same technique, with no mangle, as you may see here. I wrote this function in Golang. As you may see, export, so build mode, import C, you should use cgo, cint, etc, etc. And I used good old shitty C++. And what was the result? The result was the following. PHP itself runs in like 10 seconds. Rust and CPP runs like 0.3, 0.5 second, like half of the second. Like they are pretty close to each other. So, and Go FFI, since they are using this approach, yeah, of mapping, locking the thread, pushing everything on a stack, type defing the maps, chance, as you may see here, all of these types. Go runs in almost 8 seconds. So this was almost the same time as PHP runs. Go FFI runs at the same time as native PHP, so there's no reason to use FFI in Go. I think I have this result somewhere here. Oh yeah, PHP 8 seconds, yeah, and Golang 5 seconds, yeah. The case of Go, since a single binary doesn't execute the code dynamically from C library, or it embeds into the Go executable. From the C library, what do you mean by C library? So Go uses this cgo approach. So cgo means call. Cgo doesn't mean C. It just means run FFI. It might be C++. It might be Rust. So it just means running some kind of external function from within Go itself. It's costly because of Go runtime. I don't know what's the state of the thing of cgo nowadays, but I personally I wanted to avoid using cgo as much as I can. So I'm not using cgo, and if I see some kind of library which uses cgo, I just refuse to use it. Like, Go is not slow. Go is pretty fast, but in this particular sample, Go is slow because it uses. Let me just write here. So you have a Go library. Go uses internal ABI. ABI stands for the application binary interface. So it's not possible to call some function. So everything is ABI. So everything. If you have, if you break the ABI, basically on Linux or on Windows, you won't be able to run any single program if you break something in ABI. So ABI states for the binary interface between your program and, let's say, operating system or whatever you want to connect to each other. So you have to define an ABI first. So Go uses internal ABI. It's not using some kind of popular ABIs like defined for Rust, or let me just wiki. ABI point you to application binary interface. Yeah, so this is kind of good article to read about. So I just like, where is the standard convention? Yeah, and where is decal? Yeah, so standard call on 32-bit Windows, cdecal convention, and etc. There are a lot of them. How you can call functions from one programming language to another programming language. And when you're using Go with its internal ABI, and you use a, let's say, Rust or C program with cdecal, you just can't, it's just incompatible. You have to have some kind of layer here which transform Go ABI into the cdecal, let's say, or standard call, like whatever you want to use. cdecal, then call the Rust, then receive the response, and then transform back to the internal ABI. From the Go. So this kind of conversion is very slow, because first of all, 3 years ago, Go refused to use registers to store arguments. Starting for Go 1.17, they use, I think, few of them to pass an argument. Previously, Go stored all the arguments on the stack. Like, for example, on the top of the stack, they stored what you should send. Like, for example, we have function a, b, c int. So ABC will be stored on the preamble of the stack here, and the returning argument will be stored at the, like, here at the stack. Like, it would be stack pointer, like, plus, let's say, it depends on the stack size, but like 8-bit, for example. It would point like top of the stack. Actually minus, because stack grows like, not like heap grows, like in reverse direction. So they use only stack, and using the stack is not always slow. But in case of using CGO, you first of all you have to like put your functions, put your arguments from the stack to the registers, and then back to the stack. So this is kind of slow, and yeah. I think it's more or less clear now. Ruby FFI. Oh, this is basically, as far as I remember, PHP FFI was inspired significantly from the Ruby FFI. You are very welcome. You are very welcome, my friend. Okay, let's move forward. And this is basically what is this libc library? So how you can create bindings to the libc. So inside Rust, we have a library called bingen. And this library automatically generates Rust FFI bindings to C or some C++ libraries. I never used it against C++ because C++ is a trash programming language, first of all, and second is it uses a lot of OOP like things, which is super hard to map to like external, for example. So you don't have in FFI you don't have a concept of classes, etc. So it's so on and so forth. And this is super easy to create bindings to header files which to the libraries written in C, like for the Rust. So as you may see here, like we have structure, doggo, many, char, woof, and some kind of function, and this how it looks like in Rust bin.gen. So we have raw types, C int, C char, and so this is extern. Basically this is state, so please use this function as external function. And here is there's a h file, so this is header file. Basically for the C it's like it's not like an interface, but let's treat it like an interface. So and since I'm working on this, as you see here, I'll show you guys a lot of small inside about the SAPI. So about the bindings to the Zend engine. So there are a lot of them. This is allowed bindings for the SAPI. Some of them are used like through the FFI, and also you may use argument called link name, so to link to a specific library you wanted. Okay, so I'm working on this stuff heavily at the moment. To create a bindings to the Zend engine to allow Roadrunner to run kinda old applications in a in a PHP FPM way, like for example Laravel without like Roadrunner worker, Okay, we also will work on this thing on the streams, but now I have to finish the the sprint. Okay. Semaphores, and inside semaphores, this is and on a second run, I wanted to figure out how to resolve this problem with the second run. So on the second run, mutex, semaphore is already exists in the system, and this is not correct to pass this flag or create, because this flag states for the creation of the if O flag specifies both O create and O exclusive, and semaphore with given name already exists, then sem open fails. Where's the mode? Oh, oh, variadic of arcs. Okay. Okay, so variadic of arcs is arguments that you can bypass. They can you avoid passing to your function, but you know. Like this, I have only flags, but I don't have permissions and a value. So value should be 0 and permissions should be user. Oh yeah, this is kind of understandable. Permission libc es where is Eve. Oh, as, yeah, as your user and libc as user and the value is 0. Let's try this. Failed. As I mentioned yesterday, I needed to implement the custom drop function for this because as far as I understand, it's not possible to use same open if the file already exists. Let me check. Boom, 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 boom. Same open if the semaphore already exists. A 0 for the O flag. Let me check this. Failed. Close, Simon Link, yes. What is the value? Oh, what is the value of this semaphore? Oh, I don't have permissions to read it. Okay, let's unlink and close. And save. Same close. Same unlink. And this, I think. Yeah, I don't want to duplicate this code. Let C name is equal to unsafe. Okay. Oh, SPTR for sure. Sudo removes semaphore. I have power, but I can't use my password correctly. Okay. Yeah, now we have the address of this semaphore, and let's see if it exists. No, if it doesn't exist. So I think our problem here is I need to somehow verify this. So if we just leave this semaphore opened and close the program, so this won't be possible to open. But how we? No, I don't think so. Since for example, other process should open this semaphore and and then use it from the Go. And inside Go, I used first of all, I used System 5 API. This is kind of old. We need to update to the POSIX API. This thing. And so there's no problem with this operation. So with this system call with this smget. So if I just receive this semaphore ID, and then I'm using same control operation to reset the value of the semaphore to 0. So okay, let me check the tests. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 3, 4. Yeah. So this is from the GoLink perspective. It created correctly. I don't know. Might be use a System 5 API to perform all of these operations. Okay, this is time. This is time for me to use ChatGPT. Okay, dummy. Okay, dummy ChatGPT 4. Could you answer dummy man about the question of semaphores? Let me figure out what is the question. How using context. Linux POSIX API. how to open an already created semaphore with the POSIX API. Okay, sim open. Okay, let's try. So it states to just open it with but I already did this with this 0. libc or read write. Okay. Oh, I don't have it. Okay, so let's create it first. Yeah, create it. Now let's try to open. It works. So why it won't work? So it's this. Oh, this is 2. But what is the difference? So why it's opened for the read write, but not opened for the read only? I already did this. This is not fair. Why it's not working with the... Oh, yeah, about... This is permission for the read and write. Okay. Zero. I wanted to open to read. And it works. What was the reason? ChatGPT, you did something? What you did, ChatGPT? This is not I expected to see from this stupid ChatGPT. But it's not actually stupid, so it's like it proposed a good solution. I don't know why this won't work. This didn't work for me like previously. The name of the semaphore should start from the slash. Why the name of the Are you f***ing drunk? What slash? Why? Unix file system. I believe books in this case. With the same name, yeah. Yeah, so it mounted under the dev shared memory, so same name. as we saw previously. In small POSIX shared memory, as a small POSIX shared memory object with names of the form same name. Yeah, so this is correct. So yeah, same foobar. This is how it works. The name argument identifies this semaphore. It is specified according to the rules given in section 551. Okay, let's go to this section. This is taking longer than usual. Go to the chapter longer than usual? Edop, you're drunk as well. I was wrong. Yeah, so it should be started from the slash. Must IPC object name. To access a POSIX IPC, you must have some means of identifying it. The only portable means that this version 3 specified to identify object it via a name consisting of an initial slash followed by one or more non-slash characters. For example, my object. See you guys. So I didn't know about this. I never believe ChatGPT, and so yeah, I always trying to confirm this information obtained from the ChatGPT. So okay, so I was wrong. Get it? So I should use the name like this. But what's the difference? Where is it? It was created, but where is it? Oh, sure, I forget to remove. Yeah. Okay, this is kind of interesting. To access the POSIX IPC, you must have some means of identifying it. Okay. Yeah, doesn't sys version 3 doesn't prohibit the names of a form other than / my object, but says that the semantic of such names are implementation defined. The rules for creating IPC object names on some systems are different. For example, on True64, what is it? True64? Retired. Life free or die. Fair. Okay. Okay, I should read this chapter before reading this and this one. So this is why I think I have to add to the shared memory implementation inside Go. I have to add this dev shared memory foo, but I think it would be possible to use like this. Oh, this is semaphores. Yeah. So yeah. What permissions I pass to this? Oh, yeah. Permissions should be this is this third argument. Yeah, and permissions should be Unix o create. Permission denied. This is kind of strange. This is kind of strange. Why it's denied? Because I did everything. Oh yeah. So yeah. So we should attach here dev shared memory to this to the name of the because there is no shared Unix shared memory open API from oh, we have Unix API functions. Get control. Oh my god, why I even did my own implementation. I didn't realize that they already exist. But we don't have the POSIX API. Only open. And if we are using open, we have to add like this. Yeah, and pass an argument like this, because there's no shared memory open function, so we have to some kind of bypass this limitation to not trying to create on the root file system our shared memory region. Yeah. Now everything's fine. And this is only executable, not, yeah, without any permissions to read and write. Okay. Let's go on. Okay, guys, let's have a small break. I'll get a cup of coffee. I think like a few minutes. Okay, I'm back. So I don't know actually how to properly manage this shared memory and semaphores regions, since we might have them already allocated. Okay, let's see. Let's continue with semaphores. So we are using semclose and semunlink in the Rust application. We should use it in the Rust application because Rust is kind of have leadership between Go and Rust. So Go runs. Rust application runs Go library to connect and then connects it to the shared memory region. So we need to have this, master and slave communication. I don't know, it would be better to use just message queue. Let me check, let me see. Where's the browser? Okay. You're drunk. Ma'am, why it's like it's already email sir, you're drunk as well. The usefulness of the POSIX message queues. What is the performance? What is the performance? Yeah, I know this article. I recently saw this, but huh. So we can basically use a message queue to, instead of having Unix socket. So since it's available only on Linux, I mean forking PHP worker ticket. Huh. This is kind of interesting. We can use just a message queue. So get, notify, open, receive, send, set attributes, timed receive, timed send, and unlink. Okay, what is the speed? This is about message queue drivers like Kafka, why Kafka. This is not what I'm looking about. Okay, might be ChatGPT knows. What is I don't think it provided me numbers. Let me see. This is kind of interesting because might be I need to just use message queue because this is kind of simpler concept, and I don't think so. The major bottleneck would be on the PHP side, so it won't be like like 10 seconds to send the message. It's like a few microseconds, and from the perspective that we have a few microseconds when we send in the message through the message queue, through the POSIX message queue, and like few seconds for execution of the PHP script. So when we compare these timings, so I think it's actually doesn't matter would we use shared memory with semaphores for like 10 nanoseconds or for 100 nanoseconds and message queue, but without semaphores. So the permissions and all of this kind of stuff is pretty much the same. Do we have this inside Go? Unix message queue. No, we don't. Okay. Hold on for a second. Okay guys, I think I should go on a meeting at the moment, and I see you in a few hours at 18 o'clock by Central European time, when we with Anton would present you our Anton will present you his speech about the Roadrunner, which he presented on the conference, on the PHP conference. So you can ask any questions, so as usual. And yeah, so have to go. As usual, have a great day. It was super cool for me to be with you in this stream, and yeah, see you tomorrow as usual. Bye bye guys.